Hello and welcome to my review of the Cordoba C9 Parlour Classical guitar. This is, as I say, classical guitar, nylon string, and the Parlour means that it is slightly smaller, what they used to call a dulce. C9, and they've replaced it calling it a Parlour, which means it's just a 7/8 size rather than a full size of 4/4. And you'll see the difference when I open it up. Sorry. And yeah, this is the case. You've got the Cordoba branding, and it is a polyfoam hard case, and it's quite nice and light. And it's got a lot of protection, and it's quite hard. There's a lot of padding, and so I would feel confident actually transporting this about on trains or putting in the boots of cars and things like that. But yeah, another thing is to be said about putting it on a plane, which I don't think any case can protect a guitar on a plane these days, from what I hear. But yeah, the case is very good condition, and it's very presentable, and nice and light. And so there you have the guitar inside, and you can see the presentation of it is really good. It looks fabulous, really excellent build quality. You've got the headstock, the nut, which is quite a lot thinner than your normal size classical guitar, and the frets are closer together, so it allows for more of an ergonomic way of playing, particularly for people with smaller hands. But the quality of the guitar is excellent. The build quality is superb. The cedar wood, lovely graining, and the outlay is very beautiful. This is a cedar wood top. They do one in a spruce. They also do one in a crossover C9, which has more of a contemporary sort of steel string size, and fretting and neck. Probably very similar to this in the size of the neck, but I think the body is more of the size of the standard C9, and as I say, they do it in spruce or cedar. I chose the cedar. I believe that it's just my guess. I haven't got anything to prove it, but because I didn't play the spruce one, because they didn't have one in stock at the time. But my guess is that the cedar would probably be the better choice for this guitar, simply because if it's a smaller body, probably produce a brighter sound. I'm not sure if that's right, but that was my sort of thinking about it. And I've already got a spruce guitar anyway, so a cedar might balance that up if I need to play a different style. The cedar, of course, allows for more of a mellow. It's supposed to give more of a mellow, deeper sound, rather than the spruce being a brighter instrument, a brighter sounding instrument. Yeah, it's got mahogany back and sides, and it's all solid wood, and you can see the workmanship, the craftsmanship of it is excellent. It is really well built, excellent all the way through. Superb engineering that went into this. Now these guitars in this series do come from China. They don't actually come from Spain, as the name implies, although the company, I think it is centered in Spain. They do make more higher end model series of guitars from that factory, but the series, which is sort of like the mid-range, they have factories in China, and yeah, that's where these are made. The C9, I think, and the C10, and I think the C12 come from China, but they all go on under the company of Cordoba. They have this, apparently they've learnt the same disciplines and ways of working as their factory, their workshops in Spain. So they have the same ethics, the same sort of values in making quality guitars. And as I say, I'm not, I should mention that I'm not promoting Cordoba in any way. I've got other guitars, other makes of guitars. I don't necessarily think that I bought this second-hand, this guitar. I don't necessarily think the Cordoba are superior, but I think maybe for intermediate guitarists who are looking for quality, looking for something that is a lot more professional at the same time and good value, I think they're a good make to go for. And this series that they make could be probably highly recommended. And now I am just presenting this at the moment. Of course, we haven't got to the most important thing of how the guitar sounds. I mean, you might get this out of the case. I'm hasten to add, I've already had this out of the case, obviously, but you might hear the video later that I'm going to record later for the sound, and it will give you some idea of the sound of it. And you might think that it doesn't sound that great, but I think it does, and it does really perform really well. But we will leave that till another video so you can see for yourselves from what you can pick up from a video sound test. I think the sound is quite bright, and for its price range, which can vary from about £700, I've seen them for new, to about 1,000 in the UK. I think it's quite good. It has fan bracing, precision fan bracing, a nut width of 50, and a scale length of 630, which makes it quite a lot smaller than the normal size guitar. The body seems to be scaled down as well. From what I see of the dimensions, it is scaled down to what you would call the 7/8 size. The body does feel slightly thinner as well. More the thickness I'm regarding to is from the top to the bottom is thinner, more like a flamenco guitar, that sort of width. But as I say, it's all scaled down because it is quite and really a considerably smaller guitar. It's not immediately obvious to some people, but it was to me when I picked it up. But in a way, it adds to its sort of quality, its sort of appeal, really. It is something a little bit different, something that people might be able to get on with better if they've been struggling with full-size guitars and they've got smaller hands, or they've got younger hands that are smaller, or if they've got older hands that are struggling to stretch for chords and that. The smaller scale length and the shorter length between the frets could allow for that, but at the same time, it doesn't necessarily mean that you immediately become a better player. I'm just a beginner to average player. I'm not that accomplished at all. I played sort of beginner pieces, and I've found that this guitar does allow you to play a little bit easier in some pieces, and some others that can be really quite cramped because you haven't got that much space to play around with, where a full-size guitar you might be able to form chords a little bit better, easier. But there you have it, yeah, excellent workmanship, quality. The rosette, there's a pearl estesso style rosette, from what I understand. You can see the insignia, the label in the guitar, the actual quality of the instrument. And this was bought as new. I bought it secondhand, but it is as you would buy it new, I think, because there's not a mark on it. And so, yeah, it's a beautiful instrument, and that's how it looks. Okay, thank you. I will post later as to the sound and the tone and the playability of it, and see if it is as good as it looks. Okay, thank you.